Hello everyone, it's dragonplatinum here, and today we are back again with a Plane Crazy build battle. I know it's been a hot minute, but a lot of people have been requesting I do another Plane Crazy episode, and I did have just one more idea left in the vault that I have been waiting to do. So today, we are finally going back to Plane Crazy, and we're going to be doing a Seaplane build battle. Now you might be thinking, oh well, planes, they're pretty easy to make. You know, you can basically slap them together pretty quickly. Yes, however, seaplanes are different. Seaplanes are extremely touchy, hard to balance, and trying to get them to work on the water is even more difficult. I know because I made it before, and either I suck, which, okay, fine, granted, okay, but it's difficult. It's definitely difficult to get that balance, get that proportions right so that you don't tip over or you don't sink, or if you don't like float way too high and then when you go to take off you like smash face first into the ocean. It's difficult. It is actually really difficult. But today I'm going to be inviting people from my Discord server to come build some seaplanes, and we're going to see who builds the best one. But really quickly, just before this video begins, guys, if you haven't already, go down below, hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel and will notify you. A big old keck W in the back. just hit the subscribe button. That's it. That's all I was gonna say. So first up, we have Shaquille Oatmeal2222. After that, we have Pizza Time Guys 20. Up next is Jakers 3333. After that, we have Memium. Up next is Top Gear. After that, we have Off Into Space. After that, we have Awatoni. We also have Armored CF. And last but not least, What a Game. So looks like we've got some familiar faces back out again. Some new people, so that is always good to see. I'm excited to see the different directions that people take their seaplanes. There is actually a lot of different seaplane designs. I myself, when I was building my first seaplane, which was, it didn't work very well, but it functioned, I guess. But I mostly went off with like the two pontoons on the side kind of thing, and then the plane body in the middle, and then attached like the actual like tarmac landing wheels to those pontoons. Really difficult. Didn't function too well taking off from the water, but it was at least able to do it sometimes. But there are other designs where you just have like the bottom of the plane sort of kind of nicely shaped like a boat, which might actually be better for landing and takeoff, but might make it a little bit more difficult to land on the tarmac because you have to figure out a wheel to get the landing gear on and everything like that. But I think it's gonna be really cool. I'm excited for this one. I'm really hyped to see what people build, so let's get into it. Alright, because I don't have my actual seaplane on me, I'm just going to use my passenger plane that I built a long time ago to demonstrate how difficult it can be to actually make a seaplane, even though this is not made to last in the sea whatsoever. Let's just go in for a bit of a landing here. So if we just land all nice and beautiful, you see it floats-ish, but taking off is basically impossible. I have to end up at that outer rim in order to actually get any lift whatsoever to get back into the sky. However, a seaplane should just be able to come in, land, take off immediately with no problems whatsoever, but as you can see, my plane kind of drowning a little bit. Alright, we are just about 15 minutes into the build, and we're seeing a few designs. I don't really know. This is either going to be a really big plane, or they're just straight up making a car. I don't know what the plan is there, but I'm excited to see the final product. We got a lot of people making those pontoons, getting things set up. I think Memium accidentally deleted his plane, so he's currently in the process of rebuilding. Yeah, lots of propeller planes, looking good. We have somebody building a mech because they want me to suffer and look at another plane with legs and arms, and oh my god, don't bring back the memories. I don't want to relive the plane with legs memories. I can't do that, okay? Don't do that to me. And like usual, I always like to pick out my favorite for the competition right now. And I'm thinking that Jaker's plane that he's got going on right here might be one of the ones that is probably going to work the best. I'm not sure yet. I was originally going to give it to Memium's plane, but then he deleted it, so, you know, F in the chat for that. But this one's looking pretty solid so far. I wonder if once everything hits the water, that's where the real test begins, and that's where things really start to go wrong. Alright, so I've been looking around, checking out all the different planes, and this one's looking kind of interesting. I'm not exactly sure what it's doing. I think a few people have said they want to add legs to their planes, which I'm praying to God they don't. But, yeah, that's an interesting plane if I've ever seen one. Oh, here we go. We might be getting our first test out on the water. Is this going to work? I don't know. Looking pretty good so far, coming in at a nice angle. Is he going to hit the water nicely? Okay, he's going in kind of nice. And there's the touchdown. And there was the problem. That is the one thing that is going to be the hardest to overcome, is that problem with sinking down and not being able to take back off. It's a lot harder than you think. And because a lot of people are using pontoons, it makes their plane sit up a little bit higher, which when you go to take off will sometimes, especially if you're using propeller, it will make your plane do a nosedive and then like go underwater, and basically your plane becomes a submarine. You don't want that. It's not good. That's not what planes are made for. You made something better than a seaplane. A blender? Alright, here we go. We got a plane coming in for a landing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Is it gonna touch down? There it goes. Very nice. Little bit heavy. Just a touch. Alright, we are in the last 10 minutes. For the most part, everybody is mostly just painting up their planes, making sure that they can do those water landings and water takeoffs. I don't think anybody has managed to get a water takeoff to work correctly so far. At least from what I've seen, I've been paying kind of attention here and there. And water landings have been pretty decent, but water takeoffs, now that's going to be the hardest part. And so far, like I said, from what I've seen, nobody's pulled it off. So this might be one of the hardest challenges that I think I've put together. Alright, first up we have What a Game. And I see that he went with the sort of pontoon seaplane design. It's looking good. Honestly, this one might be able to work properly because it is like so wide. But at the same time, I don't know if those propellers are going to pull us into the water, if this is going to be too heavy and going to make us sink. But the only way we can test that out is if we actually test it. So I'm going to hop into the passenger seat and we'll see how this goes. Alright, here we go. This is What a Gamer's seaplane. I see now that those propellers are just for mostly decoration, and we are using a lot of rocket engines to get this thing off the ground. We're kind of coming in for a landing here. A little bit glitchy, but it's totally fine. That's just my internet probably acting up. Here comes the landing. Solid. Okay, a little bit of a sink there, but it does hold up nicely. Now, can this thing actually take off? Alright, take off. Here we go. Actually a pretty decent takeoff. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect it to take off as well as it did, but it did have a really solid takeoff from the water. So overall, I'm actually quite impressed. I think the design might have needed a little bit more work. It is kind of blocky and chunky, but you can't hate on the functionality. It worked well, and it did what it said. I mean, the landing was a little bit rough. Could have polished that out, but I think that was more of a driver's thing than the plane thing. So overall, that's a pretty good score. I think I'm probably going to give this plane a solid, I think, 5 out of 10 for design and a solid 8 out of 10 for functionality. Alright, here is our next seaplane from Armored CF. Overall, it's a lot smaller and lighter of a plane, but it still looks really, really good. Hopefully we have a passenger. There is a passenger seat, so that is good to see. Yeah, this one is definitely a lot thinner, and I'm very, very worried that it's going to, the propeller at the front is going to suck it directly down into the water. But again, we can't see that without testing, so let's hop in and see how this thing goes. Alright, here we go. We got, this one's a little bit more of a slow-moving plane overall, but still very nice. It actually looks really good from the front too. Let's see this thing, how it handles the water. The water is the hardest part for every single one of these builds. Here we go, we're going in for a very, very gentle landing. Smart. Smart, extremely gentle. Beautiful landing, although we are kind of pitched forward. So I think takeoff is going to be next to impossible or extremely difficult. but we'll see what they pull off here. All right, yeah, it's gonna be difficult. It's really, really hard. I mean, we popped up and we got out, but that takeoff is extremely hard. That is probably the hardest part for every single one of these seaplanes, is taking off. Just the water physics and the propellers and the way that everything works, it's hard, but that landing was a very, very nice, and the overall plane design I think looks really, really good. So that's gonna get some high marks for me. I'm thinking a solid 8 for the design and a solid 6 or 7. I'm thinking more a 7 for the functionality. All right, next up is Ewatoni's mech plane thing. I don't know. Is there an extra seat on? I don't think there's an extra seat on here for me. But surprise. Actually, is there? Actually, hold on. Can I? Oh, there is an extra seat. Okay, hold on. We're gonna sneak in here if I can get. I can't get. There we go. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I don't know how he built this thing in an hour, but it looks really good. But can it land in the water and take off? That is what matters. All right, here we go. I have a feeling that this thing is going to have a rough time in the water because of all those motors and stuff, and it might freak out. But we're just going to see what happens. Okay, here comes the landing. It's got to be nice and gentle landing. Okay, we're drifting a little bit. Here we go. Here comes the landing. Beautiful. Okay, very, very soft. And there. Okay, all right. Beautiful, good landing, good solid landing. Absolutely, we're standing on the water. That is, how are we? I don't actually know how we're standing on the water, to be completely honest. Are we anchored? I'm not sure. Okay, all right. Let's see this beautiful takeoff, and an easy takeoff for this mech. Going to have to knock a few points for the fact that this is a mech and not exactly a seaplane, but extremely talented build. I honestly can't believe that they pulled this off in an hour. Like, that is insane. I could never even do this in 2 hours, let alone an hour. But overall, I think there was some anchors used for that landing, so I'm probably going to have to give it a rougher thing on the functionality, so I'll probably get around a 3 or a 4 for that. But design, oh, it looks so good, but I'm going to knock 1 point off because it's not exactly a seaplane. I'll give it a 9 in design. Alright, next up is Off into Space. And we've got a very, very, very solid looking seaplane here. As you can see, it's a lot more compact and the pontoons and stuff are a lot closer together. So I'm not exactly sure how that's going to affect the landing slash takeoff, but we are going to find out. So let's hop on in and see how this goes. I don't know what the things on the sides are. I think they're supposed to be legs, and they're trying to give me like PTSD of the other plane that had legs, and I don't want to get into it, okay? It was bad. But let's see this thing land. Does it have a very... It's all about the landing. If the landing is good, the takeoff will be better. Here we go. Okay. A little bit of a rough landing, but we are landed. Okay, good. I think we're definitely using some ballast blocks to keep ourselves balanced here. Smart. The takeoff. This is the hardest part. Can we take off? I don't know if it can get enough lift to take off. Yeah, it can't. It can't take off. Okay, everything was awesome up until the takeoff. I think it just needed a little bit of a lift at the front to like boost it up slightly, boost the front up a little bit out of the water so that it could catch that little bit of wind and like head up. But overall, looks nice. I think a little bit simplistic, but I like it. I like this little plane. So I think I'm going to give this little plane a solid 6 in design and a solid 7 in functionality. Alright, next up we have 1LT_Hunter, or Top Gear, and we have got a very nice looking plane here. It's got navy on it too, so it must be totally ready for the water. Overall, looks very nice. A little bit thick, but that's always fine. Now, the one important thing is if it can land in the water. So let's hop inside and see how well this thing works. Alright, here goes the sea potato. Off into the sky. Can it land properly? That's what this is all about. Going in for a landing here. It's got to be nice and soft. If this goes too fast, I think we're going to pitch forwards and go underwater. So we got to be careful. Good. Okay. Alright. A little bit of an odd landing style, but I mean, it worked. It definitely worked. And the takeoff was actually really good. That was probably the best takeoff I've seen so far. Because I think they might have, yeah, there's some propellers in the front to lift the nose up just a little bit. and make the takeoff much easier. Yeah, that was really good. Overall, I think this plane is pretty good. I think it could use a little bit more detail in some spots. So I'd say that the design overall, maybe like a solid 5. But that takeoff was beautiful. And for that, I'm going to give it a 9 in functionality. Next up, we have Memium in the USS Something Went Horribly Wrong. He wanted me to tell everybody that he absolutely hates this plane, and that is, I guess, okay. I mean, I think it looks nice. It's kind of unpainted and stuff, but it's a cute little plane. Oh god, yeah, that's probably not a good thing to say when we're about to test this. I don't know how this is gonna go. I've got a feeling that we could potentially die here. Here we go. Okay, we gotta go nice and softly into that landing like usual. Nice and soft. We're going a little bit quick. Here we go. Landing. Okay, pull back. Nice, nice. Okay, a little bit pitch forwards. But that, okay, we're kind of sinking. And we're kind of, yeah, that's gonna be a call it. But, you know what? I think it's alright because he accidentally deleted his plane, I think, twice. And that's fine. You know what? Overall, I think it's a nice plane. Obviously, it needs a lot more work. So for design, I'm probably gonna give it like a 2 because like the body's there, but it just needs a lot more put into it. And the functionality, I'll give another 2 because the landing was nice, but everything after that kind of went not great. So I'm sorry, Memium, but you put something together. You put something together, and that's all that matters. All right, next up we have Jakers3333 in a Platinum Airlines vehicle. Okay, let's hop in the back of this thing. Let's see. Oh god, there's a mech on the field. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. It happens. Let's see how good that this thing can land. This is probably one of the most detailed planes that we've seen so far. So it looks really good, but can it function properly? Going in a little quick here, pulling back, solid landing, very solid landing. Now this takeoff is where things are going to get a little bit rough, I think. So let's see how this goes. Turning off to the side, trying to see. Oh, okay, all right. Hold on. I hold my word on that. This thing actually takes off really, really well, and it looks really good. I think I'm going to give this thing the perfect 10 out of 10 for both scores. Not only could it land well, fly well, and take off well, but it looks really nice too. I'm impressed. I am impressed. Good job, Jakers. This is a good plane. Next up, we have Dave 445,666, and he unfortunately couldn't finish it. Troll face in the background there. Yeah, we got no wings on this bad boy, so I don't see it taking off anytime soon. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to give this one a DNF, but good work overall, and I definitely could have seen this thing coming together if some more time would have been had. But, you know what, nice try. That, honestly, I think he was a late joiner as well, so overall a nice try. Better luck next time, but I think if you actually finish this build on your own, you might have something very good. Alright, last up we have Shaquille Oatmeal2222, and I won't lie to you. It's a flying bus. Okay, good. You need to tell me that because I actually wasn't sure what I was looking at. Let's see this thing in action. I'm not gonna judge before I see the beautiful functionality on this bad boy. Let's hop in here. Let's see how this bad boy works. All right, here we go. A little bit of a slow start. But you know what? That's fine. That's fine. It's it's winding up. It's building up that energy to get the solid takeoff here. The wings basically do nothing. Okay, maybe no. I think we can pull something off here. But it is style. You know what? That is true. There is a lot of style in this build. Look at that bad boy. Oh, hold on. We got some speed. Here we go. All right, sick flips. It's all of it. You know what? This plane might not be able to make it to the water, but you know what it can do? It can style, and that is always appreciated. Just for that, I'm going to give it a solid 5 points in design because, a beautiful style, absolutely beautiful style. So there we are, guys. For today's build battle winner, it is going to Jakers. This plane just worked really, really well, and overall it looked extremely detailed as well, so I was really impressed. And the fact that it could take off, I think, the best out of all the planes. I think maybe there's one plane that maybe took off a little bit better, but it took off, landed, and looked really cool, so that's why I gave it to Jakers. This is a really hard challenge, and I do suggest trying it out at home because, like, seaplanes are really cool, and they're also really hard to make. So if you want to try it out for yourself, don't believe me, do it. I do suggest you try it out because it is actually kind of difficult. A good building challenge. And again, thank you to everybody who came out for this one. You all made some really awesome planes, and I was actually really impressed with a lot of the ideas that came out. But yeah, other than that, guys, that is really all I've got for this video. So if you guys like this video, feel free to give it a like, comment, and subscribe. As always, guys, it's Dragon Platinum signing out. Peace out, guys. Bye.